Do you ever feel like you get overlooked?
I don't really worry a whole lot about that.
Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback that I've ever seen.
Aaron Rodgers has a 104.1 passer rating, which is the best quarterback in the history.
It's going to be a dream come true. I've always dreamt about playing Division I football, and it's going to be a great opportunity for me.
I am officially retiring.
Aaron Rodgers to begin the new era in Green Bay Packer football.
I think Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback.
It seems like nothing ruffles this kid.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
Before he was the confident superstar quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, before he was riding the bus to the NFL draft with other top NFL draft quarterback prospects, Aaron Rodgers was a 6-foot, 160-pound, 18-year-old quarterback from Chico, California, who had 0 college offers. He was good as a high school player, putting in 2 years at the Pleasant Valley High School starting quarterback, where Rodgers passed for 4,421 yards, while setting single-game records for touchdowns and all-purpose yards. He broke a single-season school mark in 2001 with 2,466 total yards. His high school coaches called him intelligent and said that he was underestimated in his athleticism, and praised his maturity, his leadership, and even his arm strength. But they and other college recruiters never predicted that Aaron Rodgers would be destined for Canton. So what's going on, guys? Your boy Mike here, and today we're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers' breakout performance, where he officially became the superstar quarterback that we know him as today. Before we get to the content, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and turning on our notifications, as it is a free way to reward the hours of labor we put into these documentary videos. Also, check us out on TikTok if you want to see our shorts at Mikerophone NFL. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. Aaron Rodgers went on to play quarterback at Butt Junior College, 25 miles from his Chico, California home, and in between the summer of his senior year of high school and his first college game, he grew to 6 foot 2 inches and spent more time in the weight room. At Butt, he quarterbacked a team that resembled a team out of the movie The Replacements, because on that roster there were 24-year-old former members of the military, others who had served time behind bars and were getting a different chance, and many who were just late bloomers just like Aaron Rodgers. He'd experienced tremendous success in his early days and would get right on the path to become the leader we see today. Aaron Rodgers was so good that he would transfer to the Pac-12 University of California to ball out, putting up a 10-1 record and a top 5 slot in the BCS rankings. The one skinny kid finished in 9th place in the Heisman race as well, and he eventually would become the 24th overall pick in the 2005 NFL Draft, selected by the Green Bay Packers, where he would ride the bench and absorb Brett Favre's gifts until 2008, when number 4 would throw a game-losing interception in the NFC Championship game, leading to the Pack trading him in the offseason and fully committing to Aaron Rodgers. It was in 2008 that Aaron Rodgers officially received the reins and quarterback number 1 status to become the megastar number 12 Packers quarterback that we know today. But in 2007, Brett Favre went down with an arm injury, and Aaron Rodgers received some playing time that mattered. The big-eyed signal caller led 2 scoring drives through his first career touchdown pass, and after coming into the game down 27-10, he would bring the Packers within 3 points, though it would still be a few years before we would see the superstar in him. Under Aaron Rodgers in 2008, the Packers won just 6 games, but the young prodigy threw for over 4,000 yards with 28 touchdowns and just 13 interceptions. Then 2009 would come, and this would be the beginning of Aaron Rodgers' breakout, as he would lead the Green Bay Packers to a tremendous 11-5 record and the first playoff appearance of his career. And as Aaron Rodgers was becoming better and better, the 2010 season would be the official season where he would transcend into the upper elite tier of NFL quarterbacks. With the Green Bay Packers playoff hopes looking absolutely bleak, they entered a crucial December 26th matchup against the New York Giants. But things were looking absolutely bleak for the Green Bay Packers because in the 2 weeks prior, they had lost 2 straight road games to the New England Patriots and the lowly Detroit Lions. And in 26-degree conditions, they would return to their friendly confines to meet with the New York Giants, who were just a few years removed from winning a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers had not played in the previous loss to the New England Patriots as he had suffered a concussion against the Detroit Lions, and Green Bay needed to keep their playoff hopes alive, and they were relying on their young quarterback who had been solid but not considered one of the greatest just yet. He has been performing really well so far, and he's considered to be a good quarterback, but he hasn't had a moment yet where he had to step up and prove that he was one of the greatest. And the show he was about to put on would be the determining factor about whether he was or not. Rodgers already had 2 concussions in the 2010 season, and now in an improved helmet, he was facing a New York Giants defense that owned the proud stat of the most takeaways in the NFL. Rodgers' brain, although it had been bruised and battered, seemed better than ever as halfway through the first quarter, he began to pick apart the NFL's second-ranked passing defense. First, he found Jordy Nelson, who ran past the New York Giants safety Antrell Roll on a seam route and outraced 2 Giants defenders for 80 yards. That reception becoming Jordy Nelson's longest reception of his career. Every opportunity that number 12 was given, he would take advantage of. As Eli Manning threw pick after pick, Aaron Rodgers was steady, solid, and unwavering in his ability to crush the opposing defense. He was sacked twice but rebounded to make play after play. In fact, he resembled a video game coming to life as he made the New York Giants safeties look like statues with play-action fakes. The ball appeared to fly out of his hand like a bullet coming out of a gun. The signal caller for the Packers, like a genius solving a complicated calculus problem, read the blitzes quickly and beat the rush with audibles. And here's how that went down. During a possession when all of his receivers were covered, Aaron Rodgers tucked the ball and ran, but was met with literal Giants bearing down on him, but didn't stop until more than enough first down yardage was secured. Rodgers had learned from his past experiences, as in a big mistake he made 2 weeks prior when he opted not to slide and was slammed to the hard turf, causing a concussion. This slide on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field was after a 15-yard gain that put the Green Bay Packers at the 6-yard line. Just a few plays later, he connected with James Jones for a 3-yard touchdown pass. It was just the first half, and his future Hall of Fame career was just beginning. During the second half, after a 33-yard completion to Green Bay Packers legend Donald Driver, the New York Giants put on the pressure, and this time Aaron Rodgers saw that Greg Jennings could outstep the Giants' Corey Webster on the outside. Jennings did just that, and as Rodgers patiently waited while the Giants came for him, he threw a majestic pass that Jennings caught at the 1-yard line. Then, number 12's 4th touchdown pass of the day was another play action, a 5-yarder for the icing on the cake. The 404 yards tossed by Aaron Rodgers was the most posted by a Packers quarterback in the regular season since Lynn Dickey threw for 418 yards against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on October 12, 1980. Former Packers guard Darren College told the media after that win, "I think the numbers speak for themselves. It's hard to critique a guy like that." Aaron Rodgers spread the love that day to 9 different receivers, to Jordy Nelson, who would have 124 yards on the day, Greg Jennings, where he would have 142 total yards on the day, 33 to Donald Driver, and 21 yards to Tom Crabtree. That win put the Packers 1 game away from clinching the 6th seed in the NFC playoffs, and Green Bay's quarterback stat line now totaled 12,165 yards, where he joined Kurt Warner and Peyton Manning as the only quarterbacks in NFL history to pass for at least 12,000 yards in their first 3 seasons as a starter. The media called him Air Rodgers, and a NFL superstar was born. Now, what were the ramifications of this breakout performance? Well, that game was the catapult to a run for the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers went on to finish 18 of 27 with 180 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the Packers win against the Philadelphia Eagles in the first round of the wild card 21-6, and that would mark number 12's first playoff win ever. Then in that divisional round at Atlanta, Rodgers had 4 total touchdowns, including 1 rushing, as Green Bay dominated the Atlanta Falcons 48-21, thanks to Rodgers' 366 passing yards, where he went 31 of 36. That would lead the Green Bay Packers to meet the Chicago Bears in a NFC Championship game that was a rivalry game for the ages. Rodgers would go 17 of 30 for 244 yards, yet he would make some cringeworthy mistakes. But his leadership and tenacity got the Packers the 21-14 victory and the ticket to Super Bowl 45. That Super Bowl featured the youth of the Green Bay Packers against the veteran 28-year-old Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, who already had 2 Super Bowl rings. Aaron Rodgers proved in that championship that he was better than Roethlisberger. Rodgers butchered a Steelers defense that was allowing a NFL best 14.5 points per game with touchdown passes before halftime. Then, with just under 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter on 3rd and 10, he threw a 31-yard gem to Greg Jennings, perhaps the biggest conversion of the game, to keep the ball out of Big Ben's hands. Rodgers earned MVP of the game with 304 yards and went 24 of 39 in his pass attempts. Raising the Lombardi culminated a 6-game run that began with a very important December 26th win. It was a run-in in which Aaron Rodgers completed 68% of his passes for 1,727 yards, scored 16 touchdowns, and had 3 interceptions, all which were in the hard-fought Chicago win. During that Super Bowl in Arlington, Rodgers set Packers playoff records for completions, completion percentage, and had the 2nd most passing yardage in team history. He would join Bart Starr as the only other quarterback in Green Bay Packers history to be named the most valuable player of a Super Bowl. Rodgers finished the season in 2011 with 4,643 passing yards, 45 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers led the Packers to a franchise-best 15-1 record and had outrageously all-pro performances like a 6-touchdown game against the Denver Broncos. But that season began a run that would haunt number 12 for the rest of his career, as he would be unable to get back to the Super Bowl. By 2013, the Packers and Aaron Rodgers agreed to a 5-year, $110 million contract extension, making him the highest paid player in NFL history at the time. In 2013, he had one of his best games thus far, throwing for 480 yards while posting an 81% completion percentage and a 146 passer rating in a win against Washington. In 2014, the Packers went 12-4 and grinded through the playoffs before losing to the Seahawks in the NFC Championship. Rodgers would still win his 2nd MVP award that season and was ranked the 2nd best player in the league amongst his fellow players on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2015. There would be so many great games that featured highlight reels of Rodgers' magic. He has posted 17 comebacks and 25 game-winning drives in his career, like when the Packers trailed the Lions on December 3rd, 2015 with 0 left on the time clock. Green Bay was given a free down after a Detroit face mask penalty, and Aaron Rodgers had one last chance. Lions sent just 3 to rush Aaron Rodgers, who just started moving left and then rolled right, launching a 67-yard bomb that landed in the hands of his tight end, Richard Rodgers, giving the Packers a 27-23 win in a game nicknamed the Miracle in Motown. It was a comeback that was all number 12, as Green Bay had trailed 17-0 after the first quarter and were down 20 points halfway through the third. That's probably the best throw I've seen in my time in this game, said Mike McCarthy. Just the arc that you want to put on a ball and obviously the distance, so great throw. In the very beginning of his career, many doubted Aaron Rodgers. He dreams to be the quarterback of his hometown San Francisco 49ers, but they passed on him for Alex Smith. He had to wait in an awkward green room for 24 picks before getting drafted by the Green Bay Packers, and even then, he had to wait a little bit and had an uncomfortable relationship with his quote-unquote mentor, Brett Favre. But when time came and Aaron Rodgers was given the opportunity, he showed us why he is one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history.